Namaste. My name is Manjunath. So today I am going to share about my journey towards the truth. How I hated God. What made me to hate God? What made me not to believe in God? Okay. What made me to laugh at God? So this is what I am going to explain today. Why? What made me in all the circumstances in my life? Why it led me into an staunch atheist? Okay, non-believer of anything and everything. In 1992, when I was around 10 years or 12 years, okay, we lost my mother. Okay. I have an elder brother and I have an younger sister. So everybody is at the 3 years of age gap. My brother was around 14 years, I was around 11 years, my sister was around 8 years. At that time, I lost my mother. Okay. I was in very, very deep love with my mother. The way that affection, love, the care and share, all the motherly love I was experiencing at the peak. And my mother was my best friend. My mother was my guide. My mother was my mentor. So in this situation, and I was ready to do anything and everything for my mother at that particular age. I was just supporting her in all the household activities, and she was also a government school teacher. But due to ill health, she was no more in around somewhere 1992. At that time, I was around 11 years. Then, immediately, there was a vacuum filled in my life. All of a sudden, there was emptiness. There was lot of helplessness, desperation. Don't know whom to share, what to share, how to share. And our father was very, very disciplined. So he was more on the intellectual side. So we were not experiencing that emotional touch or the emotional love from the father. So all of a sudden, the loving and the caring mother, when we lost, there was a big vacuum in our life. And totally helpless, totally feeling lonely, nobody to share, nobody to express, nobody to understand. So in this stage of desperation, there was a vacuum was filling. And that vacuum, and every day I used to think about my mother, cry, and just the pain, what I, now also I could able to experience that pain and that vacuum when I'm expressing my grief. Okay. See, so many years over, around 38, 40 years over, but still that pain and grief is there, and the vacuum was there. So at that particular age, when what was happening was, whenever I see any small children or my age group of people, whenever their mother is hugging their children, or whenever the children they come, my friends and colleagues, if they come and say that okay, my mother did this, my mother did that, and whatever it is, there's some sort of jealousy was happening, hatred was happening. So I do not know who is responsible, what mistakes we have done, me and my sister or my brother, what mistake we have done to lose our mother. Okay. So what is this? So nobody was able to convince us or give a convincing answer for our sincere question. Then this vacuum continued, that hatred continued, the lack continued. Due to all these things, there was due to insecurity feeling, the inferiority complex also developed in my life. So that's how our life was groomed. And vacuum filled life. Okay. Insecurity filled life. At that time, what to do? Okay. Just we want to explore, or we want to expose, we want to put out our stress. So that the time I started developing an hatred and anger towards the God. If anybody comes and tells about the God or any saint, any irrespective of God, if they go to some Tirupati and shave off their head or whatever it is, or even if anybody putting the tilaka on their head or whatever it is, I used to just shout at them, I used to rag them, I used to pull their leg. Because if you are God there, why he is so partial? Why is he punishing us? For no fault of mine, why I am penalized, why I am punished. This was the anger, this was the frustration. and nobody could able to answer this question. I started going and asking lot of priests, okay, if there are any religious heads, they used to say this is all karma, this is all karma, this is all karma. So for me, I cannot understand what is karma. I asked him, what is this karma? How to know that karma? What karma we have done? What is good? What is bad? Why unnecessary I have to suffer? Okay, what is the measurement? They were unable to answer. No, no, no. You have to grow up. You have to learn things. You have to know things. Then only you can understand. So they could not able to convince the quest or the question what we had in our mind and heart. Then I started going to the Christian institutions. Then I started asking them also the same questions to the priest. Why? Now you believe in one life theory. Okay, there is only one life. So why the partial, if there is only one God and if there is only one life, why there is so much of partiality in the nature? Okay, certain people are born with a golden spoon, certain people are born blind, some are born in a very remote rural village, certain people just born and they start working in garage in just doing the puncture work and other things. They were unable to answer the question. Whatever the answer they used to give, it was not satisfying to me. Okay. No, this is how the God is designed. This is how the God takes care. What it is? Why I am the sufferer? Why I has selected me to be punished for no fault of mine? So this was a very big question mark, which they could not able to answer it. Then I started going to wherever the namaz was happening to the masjid. I used to enter. I used to wait after all the namaz is to over. Then after that, I used to go and approach the Maulvi. Please tell me you believe in one life. Okay. So what is this? Please convince me. I am unable to get the convincing answer. Why God is he partial? If he is there, how he is? In what basis he is judging things? Why he is punishing? And he could not able to answer. No, no, no. You should become a Muslim. Then you will understand. Or otherwise you have to go to our higher ups. Okay. Then you will understand. See, so many years of their teaching, okay, 5 times a namaz, and every Friday reading the verses in Quran and other things, and following the Ramzan 1 month of serious lesson, but still they are unable to convince me. Okay, then when they told you become a Muslim, then we all get the answer. No, 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 please convince me. Okay, then I'm ready to become whatever you say. Similarly, it happened to other religions also. So nobody could able to give me a convincing answer. Then I started going and exploring in lot of Matadipatis. And they were also telling, no, 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 just they used to quote, they like a parroting, they used to read some verses or tell some verses and some meaning about it. But when it comes to the genuine questions, they were unable to convince us. Any questions, the answer, after listening to the answer, we should feel that something fulfillment should happen. Wow, yes, this is the answer, which should get convinced. Further, no question should pop up. This was my way of thinking and looking at answers. So then I understood. So most of them are just wearing the uniform. It might be saffron, or it might be wearing the topi, or even wearing the gown or whatever it is. Just they are the administrators, and they are doing the parroting of whatever they have violated. Right? They could not able to convince me in this. So this made me to become more and more negative with respect to all these things. Okay. So somewhere started hatred towards God, started cursing the God, started whoever talks about God, I used to go and became very argumentative. Then being in this argumentative state, being with this mentality, I was not able to get the peace of mind. I was not able to get the answer. That vacuum was still there. That lack was still there. Then, after certain days, I kept quiet. But somewhere this question was propping behind me in the back. Whether God, if God is there, first, is the God is there? If He is there, is He partial? Or if He is measuring and if He is giving, how, in what basis He is giving certain people 100 marks, certain people 30 marks, certain people 20 marks, certain people 60 marks? So is there anything called as destiny? Is there anything called as free will? Okay. So what is the truth? Why God is so partial. Certain people are born in Saudi Arabia, Muscat, Dubai, or in multi-millionaire family where they do not have any scarcity. They are born with a golden spoon. They go move in a very high-tech luxurious cars. But whereas certain people, they have to struggle in a two-wheeler. Okay, where they have to struggle for a daily meal. Why this partiality? So this question is not able to be answered by anybody. Okay. Even though whatever they used to answer, they used to quote from the books, which we were unable to understand to our that particular present day of life. So then life continued like this. Then what happens? Still I could not able to get the answers. I started reading the books. I started reading the books about whether is there anything life after death or other life after life. Okay, or whether we have a Atma or we do not have all these things, whether there is a spirit, a soul, self, what it is, how it is. So then automatically when I started reading a lot of books in this process, then automatically I was getting some glimpses. Wow, there was a life before my birth, and there is life even after our death. Okay, it was not totally convincing, but still, okay, somebody is saying there are a lot of books, and one book, Life After Death by Erika Simon. Okay, that started explaining about outside body experiences. Physically, they have done 101 researches on the near to death patients and their observations. And whoever has clinically they were declared dead, and after a few hours, once again they have come back into their bodies. So all these things they started narrating, and I started reading certain books, certain children's, where in the young age itself, at the age of 6 or 7, they could able to recollect their previous lives. So something, whatever my measurement is with respect to my birth, okay, on such and such a day and such a time, is the where the basic measurement is somewhere something wrong. This started making me to open the Pandora box of my life. Then when I went to Art of Living, started attending to the Art of Living course, Puja Gurudev, there is a lot of, he has designed in such a way, there is a wonderful process called when have you come to this planet? How long do you propose to stay here? These two questions were asked. So when we answered that I was come on this particular, my answer was, and most of the participants were in the course, they were answering as the date of birth. Then immediately the teacher asked, okay, if you go and ask your mother, before you were delivered, 3 hours before, okay, were you there in the mother's womb, kicking in the mother's womb or not? Definitely yes. I was in the mother's womb before I was delivered. One day before also I was there. 1 week before also I was there. 3 months before I was there. 6 months before I was there. So if that is the case, 9 months before got into my mother's womb, I was there. Okay. So how did you come into your mother's womb? So then I cannot say, okay, I came from nothing. I have come from nowhere. So then they asked question of energy is neither created nor destroyed. Energy takes one or the other form. Do you believe in science? Yes. So in that way, if you see, because you existed, you could able to come into the mother's womb. Okay, and similarly, even if you die, you will still be there. So you are an energy. So energy is neither created nor destroyed. Wow. So this, okay, because I was a science student, I was believing totally in science. This energy is neither created nor destroyed. Energy takes one or the other form. This I was totally 100% convinced with this answer. Then automatically, whatever they were talking about the karma, then I started relating with respect to the cause and effect. Behind every cause there is an effect. Behind every effect there is a cause. So today, if I have a stomach ache, okay, morning whatever I would have eaten, more of a chili. Okay, if I take a cyanide, I will not be there in another 5 minutes. If I start smoking 20 cigarettes from now onwards for another 20 years, if I get a lung cancer after 20 years, for that I am responsible. So there is a cause and effect. Behind every action there is a reaction. Behind every reaction there is an action. and every action has got an equal and opposite reaction. So these scientific principles with respect to my life and these questions started me giving me a different perspective about the life. So that gave me an understanding, okay, my measurement of life from the date of birth, and because of since the date of birth and at the age of 10 I lost my mother. So from that point of view I am seeing, so now I have to go back and see further back. Then everybody was telling there is a Punarjanma, or you were there in previous lives. That I have not experienced. Okay. So these are the things which propped into my life. Then that hate towards God was still there. But these questions and a scientific approach, I started going deeper within answers. Then Puja Gurudev has spoken about three types of karma. Prarabdha karma, Sanchita karma and Agami karma. So what is very clear, if see for example now if you are a mechanical engineer, 20 years back I studied mechanical engineering. Wow, yes. So because 20 years back I studied mechanical engineering, now I am not called as an Ayurveda doctor. I am called as a mechanical engineer only. Wow, very good. So this is what, so now whatever I am is because of my past. Whatever I am now, it is because of my past. So this is called Prarabdha Karma. Why you are not born in a multi-millionaire family? Why you are not born as an handicap? Why you are not born blind? Why you are not born in Ethiopia? Why you are not born in a very rural village where for every single meal you have to struggle? Oh, there is something called as cause and effect. Cause and effect. So whatever the effect already what we are seeing now, because of the past cause, that was called as Prarabdha. And now, whatever the video recording I am doing, this may be seen by 10 people or 15 people, 100 people, thousands of people, and they may like, or something may open up, or whatever it is. We do not know what is the future results. But because of this video and sharing of my truth, okay, certain things may happen in the future. So, certain effects are waiting because of this particular cause. This is called Agami Karma. And whatever I am now experiencing this heat or temperature or the light or whatever it is, this is called Sanchita Karma. Yes, so everything has got a past, present and future. So our basic measurement is the one which is the wrong. Okay, we measure by the date of birth. But Abhimanyu learnt about Chakravyuha in the mother's womb itself. That itself is a clear indication a child was there, was in senses before the date of birth. So this how the karmic theory started opening in my life. Then in the next videos, I'll be talking about what is the learning and this karmic theory, how it took me into the spiritual life, I'm going to explain. Thank you.